Perfect. Thank you, Amy. Everyone, I appreciate your time this morning. I'm going to be kind of do a brief overview here of some parts of the help desk, as well as Amy mentioned, talk about some of the ways that we're able to make life easier for you through automation. We don't want you to have to spend time documenting things over and over and over, and so we have some pretty unique tools that allow you to automate a lot of those processes, so that at the end of the day you're able to just get back to helping your user, which is our goal, and then I would assume your goal as well. There's 3 different areas that I kind of want to get into today. I want to start with the end user experience, what it's like for them here within the help desk. Then I'll go in as just a technician, real brief, show you how to update a ticket, some of our automation that's there within the ticket itself, and then maybe more wrap it up more on the managerial side, where we can talk about creating a lot more automation for not only yourself but also for your staff as well, making life a little bit easier. And that's kind of the way I want to go today. Now, once again, this is a public demo. It's a brief overview. We do offer one-on-one webinars where if you wanted to get very specific about, or even just a little more specific about your organization, we would love to schedule a time to do that with you as well, answer more specific questions to your organization. Once again, as Amy mentioned, feel free to throw in your questions in chat, and we'll do our best to answer those here on this morning's webinar. Now, this is a web-based help desk software. It's web-based for your end users, for your techs, for your managers. It's also mobile compatible. This is pretty cool. We realize that you're often on the go, so why wouldn't your help desk be on the go as well? This is iPhones, Droids, Blackberries, iPads, tablets, iPod Touch with Wi-Fi would even work with this. It'll open up in a simplified web interface, a mobile web interface, where everything's still there. It just looks a little bit cleaner, a little bit easier to migrate through. Great for creating tickets, updating your tickets, even closing your tickets, really from wherever you are. We do have some integration into different applications that you do have there at your organization, mainly your email for email integration and email notifications, as well as your directory, whether that's Active Directory, eDirectory, or even an open LDAP directory. I'll talk a little bit about some of our integration there, which in the same sense it gets back into the automation as well. I'm going to start with the end user experience. Now, allowing a user to go online and fill out a web form is only one avenue for getting tickets into the system. We have other avenues as well. Some organizations are hesitant. They feel like maybe this is a little too much for the user. What we have found with our customers is that because of how easy this is within our system, they've had great success with it, with the teachers or maybe the staff filling out tickets really from this web portal here. So I'll make sure that I show that. And once again, through our directory integration and email integration, we're going to automate some of this for you. This being web-based, it's very easy to make this accessible to your teachers if you wanted to do that. Whether this is a link on a website, a bookmark, a shortcut. I mean, there's some different ways that we can make this available to them. For login ID and password, we actually authenticate with your directory. And so you're not having to recreate login ID and passwords, maintain separate databases of this information. We're simply just going to go ahead and pull what you're using within your directory here. And so let's pretend that I'm a teacher there somewhere in Texas at one of those school districts, and that I need some help. Now, I've logged in as Nikki Patterson. Let's say I'm a teacher. The first thing you'll notice is that I have a list of tickets. Now, I apologize. This is a demo database. Hopefully, you don't have a teacher with 20 open tickets at one time. I realize that that's pretty high, and I probably need to come in here and close some of these out. But what's great about this list here is that it's actually a place I can come for like a status update. Now, I can't change the status, but you can make it viewable to them. It's kind of like package tracking, where they don't have to call you, they don't have to email you. They actually have a place where they could go to see the public notes to their ticket or their request, to see the status of their request right from their own interface here. They can even update the ticket from here if you wanted to allow them to do that. They could put in a note, hey, I rebooted my computer, it seems to be working a little bit better. And so there's some different things that we can make available to them. You'll even notice here the text, phones are down, please do not submit tickets for phone issues. This would take you literally 5 seconds to change. It's great for alerts. When you allow users to go online, you want to alert them. You want to let them know of some things that are happening sometimes. The last thing you want are 50 phone issues, 50 tickets for a phone issue that you already know about. And so it's kind of a cool way that you can go in and maybe shield off some of those bulk entries of tickets on an issue that is already known. As a side note, from a managerial side, you can automate the closure of those tickets in that you can mass update. So you could take 50 tickets and close them all at the same time if you wanted. Okay, for this instance, I'm actually going to create a new ticket. I want to take a second and kind of walk you through this, really to show you not how to do it, but how easy it is to do. The first thing you'll notice here is group. Now, obviously, we're probably mostly, with the audience we have today, talking information technology, but you'll notice some other departments here. What's nice about this system is that we can now centralize your help desk there on campus, meaning you don't have to have 3 different work order systems or ticketing systems for all the different departments that want to use it. We can actually use one system. The key being that there's rights and securities that separate these departments, meaning you won't see maintenance tickets, they won't see your tickets, you won't report on each other's tickets unless given rights to do so. Really, we're just trying to create a central place for teachers to go for help, whether for heating and air conditioning or maybe for their computer. We're coming to one place. Now, the separation also allows each department here, maintenance, IT, transportation, whatever it might be, to create their own form. If I come in here and I choose the IT group, my form will now be customized to IT. You'll notice here my drop-downs are IT related. If I come back up here to maintenance, you'll notice that my drop-downs are now specific to maintenance. And so that includes custom fields. You can add custom fields to this to gather additional information, which I'll show you here in just a few minutes. But just so you know, there is that separation there as well. I'm obviously going to stick with IT. If you're only using this in one group, it would auto-default where they don't even have to choose the group. It would just open this up. Now you'll notice here that my contact information is already populated. We're actually pulling this from your directory. If you have additional fields besides this within your directory, we actually can pull those fields as well. You're not limited to what you see here. Sometimes there's a few additional fields that you like to bring in. But once again, at the end of the day, we're trying to make this easy. We don't need them to tell us who they are, what their phone, what their email is every single time they fill this out. We know that information for the most part, and so we're just going to go and grab it. Now, if I come in here to category, these drop-downs are configured by you. And so don't be thrown off by what I have in these drop-downs. It would literally take you a couple of seconds to come in and build this list. It's a very easy tool within your managerial console. In the same sense, you know, a maintenance department would have their own managerial console where they can come in and build their own drop-downs as well. And that's where we make that separation again. Now, if I come in and choose hardware, and you'll notice here I have category option, I'm now looking at specific types of hardware. I would imagine most of you get emails or even phone calls or voicemails some days that say, hey, I need some help. You know, and that's all it says. There's no additional information. And you know, you're probably like, well, okay, with what? What do you need help with? Well, this way, we can at least get an idea of where maybe the problem's coming from. Is it their printer? Is it their computer? Is it their smartboard? You know, we realize that it might be wrong in some cases, which is okay, but at least we're getting an idea from the user. And obviously, you know, for reporting purposes, which I'll show you here in a few minutes, we're also gathering information to see where we're spending time, what types of problems are being submitted, things like that. Now, if I come in and choose, let's say, printer, you'll notice that I have a bunch of additional fields. Now, if I come up here and choose computer, I have a different set of fields. What's nice about this is that we do allow, you might even have one, where you just have like well, that's kind of ugly, I put a test field in there, but a lot of times you have additional questions that you like to ask based on the type of problem that they choose. And so we allow you to come in and build additional fields to this form to gather that information. Now, I will mention this. These fields are really, really easy to create. It's in the managerial console as well. It'd probably take you 2 to 3 seconds to build a field. You could make it a text field, a drop-down, a checkbox, a radio button, even a date field if you'd like. There's a lot of different options. You'll see that some are required, some are not. That's up to you as well. I should mention this, like the standard fields such as category, category option, assignment, priority status. These fields you can also make not required, and or you can even remove them from their view, so they don't even have to fill them out if you wanted. Okay, I'm going to kind of move along here, but assignment, I know that it looks like the user can choose their assignment. That is not the case. We have the ability to, through some of our automation, to route assignment. Now, you can route these tickets to individuals, or and or you could submit them to what we call a ticket pool for dispatch. I think that we see about 50-50 within schools, where some of them, they prefer to just send everything to one big queue, and then you have someone that is either pulling from it or you have an individual that dispatches from that pool, which is fantastic. In the other scenarios, sometimes you want to route things based off of a location or maybe even a type of problem automatically. And so we can support that as well. In this scenario, we can say, hey, if it comes from the high school, we're going to send it to our first level support person at that school. Now, just because we're auto-routing this to an individual doesn't mean you as a manager can't see it. You will have the ability to see all tickets regardless of who they're assigned to and if they were automatically assigned. And I'll show you that view here in just a minute. But just know that you can base that off of location, or you could base this off of skill set. Hardware, go to Gus. Software, go to Amy. I mean, you can route off of category or even category option if you'd like. And so we have a lot of different scenarios there. Now, once again, you can remove this field from their view if you'd like. I just like to show it here for the demo so that I can talk about the routing. Subject note, I can attach a file if I wanted, a screenshot or something like that. Now, when I save this, two things happen. An email, number one, goes back to me as the end user as a confirmation automatically with the ticket number, and then we can also send an email notification to the technician that has been assigned to this, or even a group of technicians if you'd like, letting them know there's a new ticket in the queue. That's part of our automated email integration there. You can turn some of those off if you'd like. Maybe you do want the user to get that email, but you don't want the technician's in the help desk all day anyway, doesn't want the email, and so you can turn those off. All right, I'm a little long-winded, but I wanted to make sure that I went through this form with you because this is going to kind of set up some of our other discussions today to where I can quickly go through a lot of our automated processes that you can build within the system to make life a little bit easier. So I'm going to jump out. You will notice this knowledge base. I'm not going to go into the knowledge base today, but it allows you to build articles. You can even search it from here. Maybe your top 10, top 15 frequently asked questions that you have that you want to make available to your users. You can put those out there for them to search on, PowerPoints, web links, pictures, videos. I mean, you can put those into the articles as well. For the, how do I set up my voicemail, things like that. You can also make private articles. This is more information sharing among technicians, where if you have detailed resolution, sensitive documentation that you want to be able to share with each other, you mark it as private, and only those with managerial or tech rights to your department can view those articles. Okay. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to make a quick change. I'll explain what I'm doing here in a few minutes. Make this view a little more simplified. Now, as I mentioned, I kind of talked mostly about the web form, but we do support email and phone call for ticket submission, where I can come in here. I can actually search the directory to put the user in, where I can come in here and let's say I have Nikki on the phone. If I could spell, there we go. And Nikki's information will automatically populate, and then I come in here and I can fill this out for someone that I have on the phone. Email, we actually have a tool called Email to Ticket, which is part of our automated processes here with the help desk, where we can actually take emails and make them tickets automatically. You don't have to copy and paste those into tickets themselves. What we do is we monitor a generic help desk account that you might have there on, at the district, and then anything that hits that, we make a ticket and put it into a queue for you. Now, it is a little bit more generic. The subject of their email will be pulled into the ticket here. Note will be pulled in here. Attachments will be pulled over. Their user information is pulled over from their email address. Really, the only thing we won't fill out is category and category option. We just don't know what those are. Based off of the email text, you as a technician or manager can submit those here to the ticket. But once again, makes life a little easier for you. No more copy and paste and building tickets from scratch and all the emails that you do get. Okay, I'm going to move away from creating tickets, quickly talk about updating tickets. And then I'm going to show you templates, which gets into a lot of our automation, and then I'll wrap it up from there. Now, here, I'm looking at an existing ticket, created dates, modified dates, work times, pretty standard for tickets. You can track time in two ways. Created, modified to closed is one way. The ticket was open for a week, but we can also track a hands-on time, whether it counts for you, whether you update it manually. where you can come in and you can say, yeah, it was open for a week, but we only spent really 4 hours working on it because we waited 4 days for a part to come in or whatever it might be. And so you can track both of those. History, anytime we make changes or updates to this, we tell you the day, the time, who made the update, what the update was, so it does create a pretty good audit trail there for you, whether for information sharing, what have we done on this ticket, or maybe for accountability. There's a couple of different reasons that we want to be able to track history. It's very easy to put in a history note. I can simply just come here to add comment, and I could come in and I could go ahead and put in some notes. I can even notify automatically individuals, in this case the user. If I save this, this will send that email update, or the ticket update, automatically to the user via email. So not only do we email them when they open a ticket or when you close a ticket, but we can also send them updates throughout that process. And as of course, the goal here is to increase customer satisfaction without really decreasing productivity. You're not having to slow down your day to write separate emails or make separate phone calls for follow-up. Our system can do that for you automatically. Okay, I am not going to talk about assets today. I guess I will mention it just to show you kind of some things that we're able to do. There's two main reasons that you would integrate assets with a HelpDesk software. Number one is to view asset information, locations, types of assets, serial numbers, model numbers, an owner. If you want to assign out an iPad to a teacher, you'd be able to go in and run filters and reports on a majority of, really all of that information. That also includes like purchasing information, values, lease information, warranty dates. You can run filters, show me all PCs that the warranty is up in the next 3 months. You would be able to see that as well. I want to show you one thing. This is probably my favorite thing that deals with assets, and I'll do it from here. This is just kind of the view here of some of the information we're tracking on each asset. I realize I'm getting away from HelpDesk, but as I mentioned, really integrating the two is key. And I want to show you this. This will show you all tickets ever associated to an asset. It's kind of like a Carfax history report, where not only can you go in and run HelpDesk reports, but you can also come in here and run asset reports. Show me my top 10, my top 20 problem assets. And then we can drill down and get specific. Well, it looks like this laptop has had, and I realize that's not the scenario here, but this laptop has had the screen replaced 4 times. And maybe that's not a laptop issue, that's more of an end user issue. But we would be able to track that type of information within our HelpDesk here as well. And so just know that that is available, as well as a remote control tool that comes with the HelpDesk for you to go out there and remote into computers from wherever you might be. Okay, now I am going to talk about really the majority of our automation, and then I'll let you all get back to your busy day. If I come in here, what I'm looking at from this screen is my assignments. And so a technician will come in, probably see their assignments here. Maybe I'm a part of a ticket pool or a team queue. This here is a managerial view where, as I mentioned, not only can you see my own assignments, but I can see everyone else's assignments as well, regardless of whether I've manually assigned that to them or I've created some automated rules to route assignment to an individual or a team. And so I would be able to see all of that here. And I could sort by any of these. I want to see oldest tickets first. I want to see location. I mean, there's a lot of different options. These columns and this view is completely customizable. You can add additional columns or fields to this view. You can remove some of these fields or all of these fields if you wanted. You'll notice here, did you spill Coke on your keyboard again? That's obviously not a standard field in the system. That is a custom field that I've put in. I do that on purpose. Number one, it's kind of funny. Number two, it shows you how custom you can do this. You can literally see anything you want, and you can customize the view that you have. You can even add additional tabs here where you can see, you can create a filter and then just, I want to see all tickets that are assigned and not updated that are older than 3 days within my team. I come here to add tab. I've already created this filter, so it's very easy. Take you just a couple of minutes to come in and create a filter. But let's say that I want to see this view here. When I come back, I now see that as a tab, and I see the tickets that are, that go hand in hand with the filter that I've made, with the values that I've put into the filter. And so very customizable here as well. Let me talk about templates. there's 3 types of templates that you can build in the system. You can have way more than 3 templates. There's just kind of 3 different ways that we use them. And this gets really into the automated part in making life really easy for you there in your day-to-day workload. The first one here that I have is HelpDesk. The other 2 are a little bit outside of HelpDesk, and I'll kind of explain what I mean by that here in just a few minutes. The reset username and password. If I come back to this screen, if someone calls me for a reset username and password, a lot of times it probably goes undocumented because it's very easy to do and to help with. It'd probably take you longer to fill out the ticket than to solve the problem. Well, our goal is for you to document everything you do because there's a lot of value in that, showing volume, time, aging. I mean, there's a lot of different things that you need to be able to track accurately. And so instead of creating a new ticket, I can actually come here to a list of what we call quick tickets. And so if I choose this from this screen, this will actually open up a pre-populated ticket. And so I guess at the end of the day, it allows you to go in one time and predefine, 10, 15 types of everyday calls that come in. And so instead of building them from scratch, all I have to do is input who the user is and then hit launch, and this will go into the system at a status that you've defaulted. Some of them are going to be closed. Some of them might be an open status, and it would just depend on the type of problem that it is. Maybe it's a printer issue that someone still needs to look at, and we'll just have it go, into a queue for someone to snag. But at the end of the day, the goal here is to hit a quick ticket. It's pre-populated, very easy to get this information into the system for you to be able to track and also report on. Now, the other 2 types of templates, like I mentioned, a little bit outside of HelpDesk. And what I mean by that is we realize you don't just help people all day. You have a lot of things you do, tasks, projects, updates, upgrades, a lot of things that are happening that mostly probably go undocumented. You probably are only tracking your trouble tickets or your requests. Well, there's a lot of value in tracking this type of information as well. Dear Mr. Superintendent, here's how much time we spend helping people. Here's how much time we spend maintaining, upgrading technology within the district as well. Let me show you how easy this is. A database backup. This is an example of a reoccurring task. A lot of you probably have tasks that reoccur. Some people even call this preventative maintenance stuff. But let's say that Amy has something that she does once a month. And what you can do is you can create a ticket for that, and then you could put it on a reoccurrence pattern. And we can say on the 1st day of every month or on the 4th of every month, whatever it might be. Maybe every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, any time frame you want. We want this ticket to be created and sent to Amy or to a team member. Number 1, great reminder. Once again, number 2, you're documenting it. Dear Mr. Superintendent, here's how much time we spend maintaining, upgrading technology within the district here as well. Like I said, any time frames that you want. It's great for automating a lot of your everyday activities that you're doing. Okay, the last one here that I'll show you is what we call a workflow template. Now, you'll see the term child tickets here. Some of you may or may not be familiar with what we call parent-child ticketing. If I come back here, parent-child ticketing is kind of a project management term. And so let me find one that has some child tickets in it. The goal here, let me come down. Yeah, here we go. So these are child tickets or sub-tickets is another way to term them. A lot of times when you have a project you're working on, you will have 3 or 4 or 5 different assignments to go out to different people. And in most systems, you have to just create 5 separate tickets that are floating out there somewhere. And it's hard to manage it. And so within our system, as you can see here, we can actually merge these child tickets together so that when you're coming in here, you can actually come in and take a look at this. Now, you can customize this view. I have it very simplified, but you could put in assignment, due date, estimated completion dates, statuses, things like that, so that you can see this information right from here. This is our manual option where you can actually come in here and create these assignments from one ticket for the project. Where templates come into play is that we can automate those assignments and when they go out. Meaning, a lot of times you have 5 assignments for a project, but not all of them need to be finished first. You might have some that are dependent upon the completion of another. And so, for instance, a new hire process, maybe this will help explain it a little bit better. You need maintenance to put in a desk. You need to put in a computer and a phone. You need to give them their passwords. You need to add them to the directory. There's a lot of different steps that happen. These are each their own ticket assigned to an individual to take care of, right? Well, if I come in here to workflow, I can define my steps. I don't have to just assign all 5 out at the same time. Step 1, we have HR launch a parent ticket with all of the new hire information. Well, right away, we're going to launch step 2. We're going to have maintenance put in a desk, and we're going to go ahead and add them to the directory. Once those have been completed, then we're going to come in here and we're going to go ahead and launch the next step, phone and computer. Obviously, you get the idea here. Then we go into giving them passwords. You can put these in any order that you want. It's literally a drag and drop. You can have way more than 5 steps if you'd like. Very customizable. But at the end of the day, it's automating it. How many times have you shown up with a computer and there's no desk? Right? Frustrating. You've wasted some time. And so now we can just notify you when we're ready for the computer, and we can let you know. And there's a bunch of different ways that you can utilize the workflow side to automating, some of your projects that you have out there. And once again, at the end of the day, you're also documenting it, which is key. All right, I'm going to conclude here with just some quick reports. You can actually take, your custom filters that you build, and you can go ahead and put them into some graphs, and we can even do some drill downs. For instance, I'm looking at a filter of open tickets, but I'm going to break it down by location. And I can even come in here and I can drill down again, and I'm going to see status, which is what I'll show. But you have other options. You want to break this down by, we had 50 tickets, but what types of problems were they? Who were they assigned to? What priorities were they in? What statuses were they in? I mean, you can break this information down in a lot of different ways here. You can even run this on a schedule. This goes into our automation. Instead of coming in and running this every week or every day, you could just simply have it emailed to you on a time schedule that you prefer. All right, I will go ahead and show you this report real quick. Once again, I'm just briefly touching the surface on the reporting capabilities here, but you can probably see this graph here. I have 21 open tickets. I've broken them down by my locations. Remember, I chose location. You have the ability to look at this a little different if you'd like. I can drill down into the high school, and in this scenario, remember, I chose status. And so I can come in here and I can see that I have 11 that are assigned and not updated. I could drill down again, and we can maybe see what's going on. I can actually even open this ticket from the report. I don't have to go back and forth looking up this ticket and seeing what's going on. I can do all of that information from right here. This is an HTML format. You can do this in PDF format, CSV, Excel. You have some different options. I have a quick closed by category, so maybe we want to identify some areas where we can train. I can come in here and see what types of problems that we've had. I drill down again. It goes into the category option. Well, what types of hardware issues? A lot of boot problem, a lot of computer problem. I drill down again. Well, hey, maybe this isn't a computer problem or a boot problem. Maybe this is a Nikki Patterson problem, right? And we can see that data right from here. You can also take these graphs and you can put them into dashboard views. You have unlimited dashboards. You can take up to 4 reports per dashboard and put them into that view. It's great for your maybe some of your critical stuff that you want to look at 3, 4, 5 times a day, where you can go in and you can take a quick glance at volume by by tech, by location. You want to see how many you've completed or how many are open still, how old they are. You could get a quick glance throughout the day by utilizing the dashboard tool as well. All right, Amy, I've concluded kind of what I wanted to talk about. I hope that I drilled in the automation and really how easy it is to come in here and create the automated tools that we have. Just so you know, we do have a great customer care team that will help you with your configuration and creating your automated templates and your rules and things like that. And so don't feel like you're on your own to figure that out. We have a great team that's there for web trainings and really unlimited help, free. There's no additional cost to web training. So we would love to help you get it set up in a way that is perfect for you. Amy, were there any questions for me?
I have not seen any questions yet. Just another reminder, though, if you do have any questions, feel free to put those through on the chat or the Q&A.
All right, Amy, I'm going to pass or you can take the ball back from me if you'd like, and then we can answer those questions. If not, Amy, can you put my signature back up there? I'm not sure if it had my email address, but if you would like to talk specifically about some of your wants or needs or whatever it might be, feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email, and I would be happy to help you and making sure we can answer your questions more specifically if you'd like. So, Amy, let me know. I'll stay on the line here a few minutes, and let me know if there are any questions that do come through.
Okay. As Gus mentioned, I put his information back up on the screen, so you have his email address right there. I have seen a couple questions come through. First of all, is there a limit to the number of custom fields?
No, there is not. You can have as many custom fields as you'd like. You can make them required or not required. Now, we do suggest that you keep it on the shorter side when it comes to custom fields, more for ease of use, making it easy for the end user. But we understand that maybe there's 1 or 2 or 3 scenarios out there where you have a large number of fields where if they're requesting something from HR or maybe like a free, an app request for their mobile device, you're going to need a lot of information. And so we wanted to make that as flexible as you needed it to be.
Okay, the next question, when there is an asset number entered, can some of the fields from the asset be displayed on the ticket screen?
We actually, all fields for the asset itself are stored. What it does is it creates a hyperlink. I don't think that I showed that, but it creates, when you enter the number, it creates a hyperlink to the asset to where when you click that hyperlink to the asset, it will populate or it'll show all fields already filled out for that asset. It doesn't actually do it right from the ticket. It'll open up a little pop-up window with all the asset information right from there. That just kind of declutters the ticket itself, where we allow you to link to the asset side to it so you can view, see, filter all you want right there from the ticket, but it's done through a hyperlink. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, perfect. Let's see, the next question, how are email work orders submitted? Is there an automatic work order creation option?
Yes, we call it email to ticket. What we can do is, most of you probably have like a HelpDesk email account that they email to, and so what we can do is we can monitor that account to where if an email hits it for help, we can automate that. We can create a ticket automatically from the email and put it into a ticket pool or to an individual's queue for you from there. And so, absolutely.
Okay, looks like the next question, can you show just a bit about the customization, how to set up the ticket info portion? And I'll make you the presenter again so you can show some of that if you can.
All right, to be more specific, are they looking for the fields or more of your directory integration? I guess that would be my question, so if you wanted to let me know there.
Looks like she's looking for the custom fields.
Okay. What I would do is I'm actually in as a manager, so I come into settings. Amy, you should be able to see my screen here.
Yes, I can.
And this is where I can actually come in, like if I come in to groups, I have rights to multiple groups. That's why I see multiple groups, but this is where I can come in and I can create my categories and my category options. I can define what I want my technicians to see from here. If I want to create a new category, I can literally come in here, type it in, hit save, and it's now been added. It's that easy to create the dropdown. And the same goes for category option. I want to add a new type of software. I type in the name, I hit save, and you can quickly come in here and make these groups from there. Now, if I come into custom field setup, beyond category and category option, we have some additional things that we'd like to add. And so this is where I can come in, and let's say, what do I want to call this? Let's say, did you spill coffee, right, on your keyboard? I'm struggling here with my spelling. Okay. Now that's pretty pretty specific there. What do I want to do? I want to make it a text field, a radio button, a checkbox, a drop down. Probably in this scenario, I'll just make it a quick drop down. This is where I can come in and say yes, no, it was a PBJ, right? A peanut butter and jelly sandwich or whatever it might be. Location, I mean, you can be all locations, or you can just say this is only specific to the high school. For instance, sometimes an elementary school doesn't have a gym, but a high school does. And so if your category options matched, you know, something that's specific to the high school, then you could put in a location there. And I could come in here and say I only want this to deal with hardware and to deal with keyboard. Or you could say I want this for all hardware, regardless of what the category option is. But in this case, I'm being specific. I can make it required, not required, right? You have different options here. And then I hit save. I kind of walked you through a pretty specific example, but as you can see here, it's very easy to come in and define, you know, what you want these fields to say, how you want them to populate, whether it's, you know, if they choose this and they choose this, then we'll show this field. There's some different scenarios there for you. I hope that helps. We do have something we call the scheduler as well from the managerial side. I really didn't touch base on this. This is great for service level agreements or maybe even for just auto escalation. Let's call this low to medium. I'll say all categories and category options. I'll create a generic rule. But let's say that we have something that is assigned and not updated. It's a low priority, and 1 day passes. Now you can be more specific, 2 days, 3 days, whatever you might be, from when it was created. Let's go ahead and we'll escalate this to medium, and we're going to send an email. Let's notify who this is assigned to. Let's carbon copy, blind copy the manager. Let's put in a subject and note, hey, this is past our 24 hours for a new ticket. You know, we need to go ahead and get a response in there. We need to take a look at it. This is a great tool, not really to monitor every single thing that happens with the tech, but sometimes things fall through the cracks. It's just because you're busy, that happens. And so this is a great tool to use to come in here and flag that ticket. Hey, I'm still out here. You can put it back to the top of the pile. The technician, is reminded automatically that ticket is still there. And you could come in and create a bunch of different rules. If it's a network issue, then that time frame is not 1 day, it's 1 hour. Whatever it might be. Okay. Amy, I hope that helps. From our administrative tool, not really the managerial console, is where our staff will help you set up your directory integration, your email integration. And so there is some additional features there within the managerial console, but that's more on the administrative side in doing your initial setup.
Okay, perfect. The next question, if tickets are printed out, what information is shown?
It depends on how you want to print them out. If I come in here to a filter and I want to do a list of tickets and I want to export this into like PDF, you'll notice here that it's showing me all of the fields that I've chosen. And you can customize this view so that you can take away some of these columns. You can add custom fields to these columns. You have some different options when it comes to listing out a long list of tickets. You can see this in a variety of different ways. Now, another option that you do have, which I really didn't talk about, is that if you just wanted to look at a specific ticket, you can actually put this ticket into PDF format and print it. There we go. It would help if I clicked it. You'll notice here I go PDF. Might be time for me to update my PDF here, my Adobe. Strike one, Amy. Let's try that again. You're giving me grief here. But this will actually put the ticket itself and every single field within the ticket into a view for you to print. And I apologize. I need to make sure that this is up to date. It was giving me grief earlier in the week. So hopefully I was able to show you. I apologize if this view is not, there we go. That's a little bit better. And so I can come in here and I can see really a ton of the different information, including history to the ticket as well from here. And you can print that off, save it, email it out, kind of different things that you want to do. You can do from there. So it's very customizable, whether from a mass report or an individual ticket, you can really show any field and value that you want.
Okay, perfect. So we have time for just a couple more questions. First of all, can you have more than one assignment at a time?
The system itself does not allow it to be assigned to multiple people, but what we do is that if there's different tasks, a lot of our customers will use sub-tickets for that, where you have the main assignment and then you have those child tickets, which in the same sense then allows you to break it down as the task. You can tie a separate time to that individual task, if you have two people working on the same ticket. But it's a named license, and so it requires the assignment to either be to a ticket pool, which I guess in the same sense will be a group of people, or an individual.
Okay, so the next question is just a follow-up to the asset question we had earlier. She's asking if she would like to have the technician have the serial number, etc., information when they go to work on a ticket. She said, I cannot have that information pulled from the asset info onto the ticket.
What it does is, so if I come back here and I tie an asset to this ticket, I'll update it and I'll show you kind of what it does. And so if somebody has entered in, has entered in a number here, and once it's submitted to the technician, here, it creates a hyperlink to this asset. So this is really what it will look like once the technician sees it. Well, if I want to look at the serial number for this asset, I can do that. It's just clicking this, and then it takes me to, it'll probably be this one, right? Where's my serial number? They moved these fields around on me here recently. Serial number. And so I have the serial number right here. And so it's very easy, accessible. It's just from the ticket itself, it's a hyperlink. So that, and you can have it open up in a window, or you can have it open up behind like I did, where it shows me the full screen within the asset piece. And so it may not be exactly how you want it, but yes, from the ticket, they can see their serial number for this asset. We just don't want to have this really long list of all these different fields for the asset itself, when we can just click the hyperlink and then it takes me to that information right here. Serial numbers, model numbers, manufacturers, as I mentioned, PO numbers, values, lease information, warranty dates, associated tickets. I mean, there's a lot of different things that you can track. You can even create custom tabs and fields so that you can show different things that we don't track if you wanted, and it's very easy to do that. All right, I hope that answered your question. Yes, you would be able to see the serial number. It's just from this link here. It would take